The state government has changed its mind on asset sales, deciding instead to lease our electricity network. But the new deal goes much further than the old one, handing over everything from the power stations to our plugs.
A momentous occasion captured by the government's own cameras, the Premier and the Treasurer looking at what we have told them about asset sales and getting the message loud and clear.
Queenslanders, in the feedback we've received, and I've received it personally, feel more comfortable around a lease than an outright sale.
The plan was to lease ports like Gladstone and sell parts of the electricity network. Companies like Ergon, Energex and Powerlink were off the table. But now nothing's being sold. It's all being leased. But the poles and wires, Ergon, Energex and Powerlink are back in the mix.
It's the whole kit and caboodle, $33 billion. And put that into context, supply privatisations were $15 billion. So we're talking over twice the amount of Queensland assets. There's not much left in the silverware cupboard.
Unions say a lease is as good as a sale and we'd be putting our hands up for bigger bills.
There is no difference. This is not an economic strategy. This is an election strategy.
And faced with polls showing the Premier could soon be looking for a new job, there's no doubt survival was a big motivator for the change of heart.
Oh, look, I've always had great concerns about asset sales, as do Queenslanders, but we have $80 billion worth of Labor debt, and I want to take this state forward. Details
on the lease are still being worked out.
Could be a 50-year lease, it could be a 50-year lease and a 49-year option.
Labor says it's a broken promise.
And what Tim Nicholls has announced today is Queensland's worst nightmare.
But the government says $80 billion worth of debt is a fair nightmare in itself.
The electricity industry is heavily regulated in Australia, and frankly, it will continue to be strongly regulated.
Shane Doherty joins us from State Parliament. Shane, why didn't the government just do this in the first place?
A good question, Melissa. It seriously underestimated how much Queenslanders are opposed to asset sales, but it's turned this huge negative into a positive. For starters, it shows again that the government can listen, and secondly, it takes away from Labor the biggest stick it had to beat the government with. Expect the term of that lease to be much shorter than 99 years, perhaps around 60, and for the government to do all it can to convince us this will mean cheaper prices on our power bills. Melissa?
All right, thanks, Shane.